In both English and Spanish, the words in our sentences serve 6 different roles, generally. That's what the parts of speech are. They're the 6 different roles that words serve in our sentences. In previous videos, we talked about nouns and verbs, words or phrases that represent things and actions. We also talked about adjectives, which tell us more about the nouns, and adverbs, which tell us more about the verbs and adjectives and other adverbs. Then, in the previous video in this series, we discussed prepositions. Prepositions are connector words that connect nouns to nouns. They tell us how 2 nouns are related to each other. But prepositions aren't the only type of connector word, and that's only 5 of the 6 parts of speech. So in this video, we're going to talk about the other type of connector word and the final part of speech. It's time we talk about conjunctions. Hola, soy Jordan, and this is a Spanish Quickie. Fast, easy Spanish lessons and English lessons from somebody who speaks your language. What you're watching right now is the 7th video in an 8-part series of videos about the 6 parts of speech. You will get way more out of this video if you've already seen the other videos though, especially the previous one on prepositions. So if you haven't seen those, go back and do that. There's a link to all of them below this video or in the first comment. Now I gotta tell you right off the bat, in this video, we're only talking about within clause conjunctions, which are, you guessed it, conjunctions that occur within a clause, as opposed to between clauses. We'll talk about between clause conjunctions in the next series, working together. So in this video, even when I just say conjunctions, I'm talking specifically about within clause conjunctions. Okay, there are 3 big differences between prepositions and conjunctions. Let's start with how they're different mechanically. Prepositions are words that connect nouns to nouns. Even when it doesn't seem like a preposition is connecting a noun to a noun, it is. If you don't get that, go back and watch the previous video. Conjunctions, on the other hand, can connect anything to another of that same thing. Jimmy bought chicken. That's a noun, Jimmy, doing a verb, bought, to a noun, chicken. Well, we can use a conjunction to connect a noun to either of the nouns in this sentence, or to connect a verb to the verb. For example, Jimmy and Kimmy bought chicken. The words Jimmy and Kimmy are both nouns, then the word and is serving as the conjunction that's connecting them. And is one of the most common conjunctions. Then Jimmy bought chicken and beef. Now the words chicken and beef are both nouns with the conjunction and connecting them. Jimmy bought and cooked chicken. In this one, the words bought and cooked are both verbs with the conjunction and connecting them. But conjunctions can also connect adjectives to adjectives and adverbs to adverbs. Jimmy bought hot and crispy chicken. In this example, the conjunction and connects 2 adjectives. It connects hot and crispy. We know hot and crispy are adjectives because both words tell us more about the noun chicken. Jimmy didn't just buy chicken, he bought hot and crispy chicken. Jimmy quickly and quietly bought chicken. In this example, the conjunction and connects 2 adverbs. It connects quickly and quietly. We know quickly and quietly are adverbs because both words tell us more about the verb bought. They tell us how the buying was done. Jimmy didn't just buy chicken normally, he bought chicken quickly and quietly. Conjunctions can even connect a preposition to a preposition. This video is a video from and for a Spanish learner. The words from and for are both prepositions with the conjunction and connecting them. Conjunctions can also connect phrases to phrases, clauses to clauses, and sentences to sentences, but we'll look at all that in the next series. That's just how conjunctions work mechanically though. Now let's talk about the second big difference between prepositions and conjunctions. Prepositions tell us how the 2 nouns that they connect are related to each other, while conjunctions tell us how the 2 whatevers that they connect are related to the rest of the sentence or to another part of speech in the sentence. Jimmy and Kimmy bought chicken. Mechanically, the conjunction and does connect Jimmy and Kimmy, 2 nouns. But and isn't telling us how Jimmy and Kimmy are related to each other. Without more context, we have no clue how Jimmy and Kimmy are related to each other. Maybe they bought chicken together, maybe they bought chicken separately. We don't even know if Jimmy and Kimmy know each other. The conjunction and really tells us how Jimmy and Kimmy are related to the rest of the sentence. More specifically, the logic of the conjunction and tells us both of these subjects, Jimmy and Kimmy, did the verb. They both did the buying. Jimmy and Kimmy bought chicken. Do you see how both of these subjects are basically sharing the rest of the sentence? That's why when we zoom out, we count this whole phrase, Jimmy and Kimmy, as the subject. Then the verb is bought, and chicken is an object of some kind. Now compare that to this. Jimmy or Kimmy bought chicken. Same thing as the previous example, but now the conjunction or is connecting Jimmy and Kimmy. Or is another really common conjunction. The conjunction or still tells us how Jimmy and Kimmy are related to the rest of the sentence, but this time the logic of the conjunction or tells us only one of these subjects did the verb. Either Jimmy bought chicken or Kimmy bought chicken. Jimmy or Kimmy bought chicken. When we zoom out, we count this whole phrase, Jimmy or Kimmy, as the subject. The verb is bought, and chicken is an object of some kind. Jimmy bought and cooked chicken. The logic of the conjunction and tells us both of these verbs were done by the subject, Jimmy, and both of these verbs were done to the noun, chicken, an object of some kind. Jimmy bought chicken and Jimmy cooked chicken. Jimmy bought and cooked chicken. But then Jimmy bought or cooked chicken. Now the logic of the conjunction or tells us only one of these verbs was done by the subject, Jimmy, and only one of these verbs was done to the noun, chicken. This all reminds me of my 6th grade science project that my dad helped me with. I don't remember the topic or how I got into it in the first place, other than the fact that my dad was originally an electrical engineer, but the part I do remember is these things called logic gates, which I would just call logic switches. They were these little black things, each with 2 little white switches on them. We wired each of the little black things to a light bulb, and if the white switches were arranged correctly, the light bulb would light up. I'm sure there was more involved, like a battery, but you get the idea. Each of the logic gates was different though. Each of the little black things was unique. The first logic gate was called an AND gate. To illuminate the light bulb with the AND gate, both little white switches had to be on. When the first switch and the second switch were on, the light bulb lit up. The second logic gate was called an OR gate. To illuminate the light bulb with an OR gate, only one of the little white switches had to be on. When the first switch or the second switch was on, the light bulb lit up. The third logic gate was called a NOR gate. To illuminate the light bulb with a NOR gate, neither little white switch could be on. When neither the first switch nor the second switch were on, the light bulb lit up. And, or, neither, nor, all these words are conjunctions. Neither Jimmy nor Kimmy bought chicken. Jimmy neither bought nor cooked chicken. Jimmy bought neither chicken nor beef. Neither nor is a weird 2-part conjunction. They have something similar in Spanish. They say ni. Bottom line, within clause conjunctions are connector words, but more specifically, they're pure logic connector words. That's the third big difference between prepositions and conjunctions. Prepositions tell us how 2 nouns are related to each other by positioning one noun in relation to another noun. Even when the nouns are abstract or the positioning is abstract, prepositions still ooze that physical positioning vibe. Within a clause, words like in, on, after, and before, positioning words, are common prepositions. But within clause conjunctions tell us how 2 whatevers are related to the rest of the sentence through logic only. Words like and, or, neither, nor, pure logic words, are common conjunctions. So prepositions are positioning connector words, within clause conjunctions are logic only connector words. Of course, it does get messier than what I've shown you in this video, but we're going to stop here anyway. That's all I want to tell you about within clause conjunctions for now. However, even though we've already talked about all 6 parts of speech, there's still one more video left in this series. In the next video, we're going to talk about these things called interjections, which most sources consider a separate part of speech. And we're going to discuss the words yes and no, which are also often counted as a separate part of speech, or at least looked at separately. Obviously, I disagree with both rulings. In my world, there are 6 parts of speech: nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, and postpositions, and conjunctions. Interjections are not a part of speech. Neither are the words yes and no, and I'll explain why not in the next video. If you're picking up what I'm laying down in these videos, check out my premium course, Logical Spanish. In Logical Spanish, we do all the same stuff we're doing in these videos, but in Spanish. Logical Spanish is my most comprehensive course. If you're looking for a track to run on, do this, then that, in this order, Logical Spanish might just be for you. Find out at SpanishDude.com/logical. If you're a lifetime member, you already have access to Logical Spanish. Just go to the premium course area and log in. You'll see it right there on the main dashboard. Okay, don't forget, conjunctions are words that can connect anything to another of that same thing, not just nouns to nouns. And they tell us how those 2 whatevers are related to the rest of the sentence, not to each other, through logic only, not by positioning. Those are the 3 main differences between prepositions and conjunctions. Now get out of here. Then I'll see you next time. Hasta luego. Adios, amigo.